Hello and welcome to part two of your Shabby Chic living room design consultation. And I'm Nadia and I'm going to take you through this. So, the first thing I want you to notice is that I have got a UK and a US key. That's important mainly because I'm in the UK, but I know that a lot of people are in the US. So that's why I felt it was important to do a key for each one because there are slight variances, and obviously the manufacturers and the stores for the products will be really quite different. So I thought it's important that I helped you to be able to navigate your way through this. So if you see, so the on the printout, you see the first key there. I don't know if you can see it. You've got there's the UK key. And so this just gives you a very sort of brief sort of overview of what that key is and what is involved in the key. So it's a very brief overview. It isn't detailed at all. It just generally says the brick walls and plastered walls are painted a particular colour and they're by a certain manufacturer. That's it, you know. So also there is the US key as well. So if I can show you that, there's the US key, UK key, the US key, I should say. So there's a US key and there's a UK key. So they're very brief. They're just brief. And they just give you at a glance, just so you know, at a glance, you know, where do I get the lamp from? That's the place. Where do I get that from? So it just sort of tells you where you get them from, and so that's just at a glance. What you need to really focus on is this is the detailed key. So as you can see there, this is the detailed living room key, and that gives you, it starts on the floor and goes all the way through. So I'm just going to rush through it really briefly. Mainly I'm going to refer to the UK manufacturers, but as I say, the first part here is the UK, and then you have the US on that side there. So the UK product suppliers and the products and all the finishes, and also you have the same thing but in the US, where you can find it in the US as well. So but I'm just going to refer to the UK for now, but when you print it out, obviously if you're in the US, you'll be able to get your key. So the first thing, looking at the floor, in the UK here, we've got it tells you that it's a floor shield paint, satin. The colour, I've used a jasmine white, but you can use an ultra pure white. In the US one, it's an ultra pure white. But I've used Dulux Trade, which is a very popular and a very good trade paint, and also a great price point as well. And their range is huge, absolutely huge. And so in the US, I've gone for I think it's Beher. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm afraid. Sorry. But that's the product I've gone because they seem to be on a par with our Dulux ones. So that's sort of, you know, where we're going here. So also what I've done, because I do realise not everybody will have a wooden floor to paint, and they may want that look. And because we want it to age and to get shabby chic, I've also, for those of you that wish to purchase your own flooring, get a flooring, I've actually put down a wooden flooring that you can actually purchase and install. So that's an option too. For not everybody starts off with a wooden floor and that they can just strip back and paint. So maybe you need to install the wooden floor and then go from there. So I've given you that as an option too, to get it installed by a tradesman or to actually do it yourself. The living room rug, a great place called Overstock, and that's where the seagrass rug, if you recall, from there, the seagrass rug. So a place called Overstock has that rug, which is fantastic. These are all the UK ones I'm referring to, rather than going to like zip backwards and forwards. UK Walmart has that rug. Overstock, and they so all the details are there. So if, for example, it tells you that it's called a Surveyor rug, hand woven sisal, natural blue seagrass bordered rug, and it gives you the product code, model number, the size of the rug as well, 8x10 I've chosen for this one. There are varying different sizes, so it just depends on the size of your room, which one works for you. And also it tells you the composition of it, so it's important to know if it's 100% seagrass or it's a composite of seagrass mixed with other fibers as well, because I know some people have allergies, and so it gives you the composition too. And you can also ask the manufacturer for more details as well, so there is that option as well. The trims being, now it's not a word that we generally use in the UK, but trims means the skirting boards, the borders that go, the frames that go around your doorway, the window sills, so they're painted. So also again, Dulux, painted, high gloss, panelled walls. Now, I know that majority of people will not have a panelled wall. I do know this. But if you're fortunate enough, you just simply paint it. If not, excuse me, there are companies who you can contact, and they actually do panelled walls. Also, there are now embossed panelled wallpapers. If that's something that you want to go, because there were so many different options, I just simply said what to paint it. So I really would leave that to you to actually decide if you're going to paint a wall. You may have an existing wooden wall, which is just wooden planks, and that would work just as well. It doesn't have to be a panelled wall. So maybe you've just got wooden planks on your wall, vertical planks or horizontal planks, and you just want to paint that. That will work just as well. So don't take it off and put a panelled wall on. If you've already got a wooden wall, go with that. That will work well. And so to do it, just to paint that wall, and I've gone for a beautiful satin sheen, so you can get that lovely sort of contrasting effect between the brick wall and the panelled wall. And then the wallpaper covering, Laura Ashley. Beautiful wallpaper, Laura Ashley. And you can find the Laura Ashley products in the US as well, so that's great. But Laura Ashley do a great one, and it's called Wisteria Cranberry Floral Paper. You will know, as I say, a good indication. If you're buying wallpaper, important note, because it's patterned, you must pattern match it. You must pattern match it. As you can see in my home here, I've got patterned wallpaper, and it's a very high pattern repeat. A large pattern repeat means that you have a block pattern, and before that pattern appears exactly the same again in another area, it tells you how big the pattern repeat is. So with this one, this is a wisteria one, I would recommend getting whatever the area size of your wall is. You must measure the height as well as the width of your wall. Then you can tell the wallpaper person in the wallpaper shop the size of your wall, and they will tell you how much paper you need, but they usually tell you how much you need for a plain paper with no pattern repeats. For a pattern repeat, you need to buy at least 1.5 times. So if they tell you to buy, for instance, 4 rolls, you need to buy 6 rolls. Do you understand? Because you need to buy 1.5 times of that wallpaper to be able to get a beautiful pattern repeat going. Okay, so that's it. The brick wall, I've gone with a soft sheen. You can use like an eggshell or enamel, something a bit more rugged. you know, for the brick wall, so it's in keeping with the theme of the brick wall. And so with the cornicing, now the cornicing is, I like to see rooms finished. You may not have, mostly you have the wall and it just meets the ceiling. The cornicing is the bridging, is where is a piece of material that bridges the wall to the ceiling. If you can see in my room here, I've got a very plain cornicing. So if I angle that up there a little bit, can you see? That is a very plain, that's a plain, you can't get any plainer than that. It's just a plain bridging of the wall, so it sort of smoothly goes in instead of this sort of, you know, sharp point. Now, cornicing can be as ornate as you wish it to be. Now, this is a Shabby Chic scheme. Go for it. You can't overdo it. That's all I can say. You can't overdo it. So if you want it fairly plain, it's okay. I'd say have a little bit of decoration that really lends for the Shabby Chic scheme. And if you want to go all out there, go all out there, because it will look wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, you know, but it's usually painted with a slightly different texture of paint, usually a bit more matte, a bit more toned down. There's not really a glossy feel, because when the light hits it, it forms beautiful shadows, and that's why you want to keep it as matte as possible, so it's not bouncing off, but it's forming those beautiful shadows and really highlighting the detailing in your cornicing. So that's what I say with the cornicing. Then if I look at the fireplace, I think I spoke about that in the last video. There are, I put here Tomlinson Stonecraft, which is a great place to get your fireplaces from. There's lots of places you get fireplaces from. Stone Effect, if you find something similar at a lower price point, please go for it. If you find a reclamation yard, oh, heaven, go for that, definitely. I love going to places like that. You can find such wonderful finds at great prices and so unusual. You know they're going to be a one-of-a-kind piece, you know. So I say absolutely go for that. Ceiling, usually keep it matte. Just keep it matte. You don't want things bouncing off your ceiling. Keep it a lovely matte, flat finish. Usually white does the job. Then everything is showcased off that. Now, your interior of your living room door, the reason why I say the interior of the living room door, that's the inside face, the face that faces inside your living room, is usually generally going to be a different colour than on the outside. It can be, but I'm just talking about the interior face of your living room door. Lovely satin wood is great, and it's because we want to be able to, we've already got a gloss trim. So I want to sort of contrast the door so it doesn't all blend into one. Contrast the door a little bit so that it's still in keeping with the theme of your room. So a nice satin wood so you can still wipe it down, you know. The ironmongery, that refers to the door handles. The door handles. If you have great door handles, wonderful, just clean them up. Just clean them up and you're ready to go. If you don't have great door, a lovely sort of brass doorknob, and you want to change it, what I would say is take out the original doorknob with the fixing that goes from one end to the other through your door. So you'll have a handle and you'll have a fixing rod and you have another handle. Take the whole mechanism to your hardware shop in order to purchase your new door handle. The reason I say this is because there are different mechanisms. Not all mechanisms fit. And so if you take that, the person at the hardware shop will be able to give you the perfect mechanism to fit your door. Otherwise, you're going to have to do a lot of work to make it fit. So they will tell you, this is the one that you need. It's the right length, first of all, the right length, the right width as well, so that it will slot in, and all you need to do is to take out your old one and slot in your new one and screw them all back in, and you've got your door ready to go. If you're not confident about that, get a trade person to do it. The reason I say get a tradesperson to do it sounds really simple. What you don't want to do is find that you've got a door handle that gets looser and looser the more you use it because you haven't really fitted it properly, or heaven forbid, the handle comes off in your hand and you're locked inside your room until somebody comes to rescue you. So that can happen. So I would say it's not that simple, but it can be if you follow the instructions. And also, as I say, there's YouTube that helps you to be able to help you to sort of walk you through how to change a door handle as well. Ceiling lights, chandelier, lovely chandelier. I have a chandelier here. It's, it is such a staple for the shabby chic look. Such a staple. And if you cannot get hold of all the other aspects of the lights, like the wall lights, which are a great addition, but if you can't get the wall lights, please get the chandelier. Get the chandelier. I have, there's a great place called Dunelm in the UK, and that sells a great range of chandeliers at a great price point. They have a great range, a great price point. I've chosen a 5-arm. You can get a 5-arm, or you can go to a 6-arm. I wouldn't go less than that, sort of 5 to 6 or more is fine. But more, you're looking for the sort of antique brass or distressed look. In the UK, managed to find a distressed looked one, but an antique brass, that gives the feel already, and just that. It's such a beautiful piece, such a statement piece. And if you can, please get your dimmer switch change. Get your light switch changed to a dimmer switch. A dimmer switch makes all the difference, just to create the drama, especially if, as in the picture, you can see there are wall lights. Not everybody can have wall lights. You may be in a rented accommodation, or maybe it's just an expense that you can't really go to right now. That's okay. If you have a dimmer switch on your chandelier, you can create that drama and that theatre in your home by just having the wall light. So if you can get the wall light and the lamps, wonderful. If you can do the whole scheme and get the wall lights as well, what more can I say? It's fantastic. So I would say definitely, if you can do that, get the chandelier. Wall lights, if you can do that. They're Wayfair, great company. You can get wall lights from there. Bed Bath and Beyond in the UK, wonderful wall lights as well. I've put this all in your product scheduling there. Floor lamps, Dunelm again, Bed Bath and Beyond. So they generally do lots of things like that. And so I sort of kept with Bed Bath and Beyond and Dunelm for the lighting in general. And for the various different lamps, I've gone with that. And so Wayfair, great one as well. Now, looking at your antique sofa, the reason keeping a structure, shabby chic can look tired and can look worn very easily. But if you can get at least one wooden sofa. If you can't get the wooden sofa, at least if you get the wooden armchairs with the wooden structure to it, just to go with because I say, if you're going to sacrifice a sofa, do not sacrifice the sort of relaxed, the one that I said, the loose cover one from Sofas and Stuff. Remember this one that I told in the last video? Don't sacrifice that one. If you have to sacrifice one, I would say sacrifice that one, because it's your main living area. Because you can also always use the wooden elements of the armchairs, so that will bring the wood structured elements in. So I would say, don't sacrifice that one, because it's just so important. You need to have a comfortable sofa in your living room space. You spend too much time in there for you not to have that comfortable sofa. Whether you have a family or you're single, it doesn't matter. Comfort, we all need a little bit of comfort. and you would just love that room so much more. So I'd say definitely go for that. And the loose cover element, don't go for the fitted color element, especially on a warm, comfortable sofa that gets used by everybody. You need to be able to zip off those cushions. Now, you may find if you're having difficulty with the loose cover element, you can buy a fitted one, but just so long as the seats and the back cushions zip off. Now, the loose cover sofa, there is a scatter back version and a formal back version. The reason I've gone for the formal back, because it's such a relaxed piece, also it's lower maintenance. The scatter back can look very messy very, very quickly, you know. And it's high maintenance, but where it's a formal back, it's just a lot more easier to maintain, and it looks more structured because it is quite a relaxed, soft sofa. But if you can get cushions that zip off as a second, do that, you know. So I went through the whole thing of, you know, if you can get it on clearance, get it on clearance, half price. It's a good quality piece. Please don't skimp on the quality. It's really important to have a good quality piece, because this piece is a piece that can last you a lifetime. And also you can order extra loose covers, you know. It's fantastic. As I say, 2 sofas in one, 3 sofas in one, you know, just change the covers, change seat interiors if they start getting too tired. You can just change the seat interiors and change the covers. So I think sofas and stuff are fantastic like that. And yes, there are other companies that give you similar. I'm just saying my experience of knowing that particular sofa, the Land Hydrock, is wonderful. But I'd say if you're going to buy a sofa, go to the showroom and sit on it. I don't know if I said this right at the beginning. If I didn't, I'm saying it now. Okay? You must order all the samples. The reason why I say order all the samples from all the pieces that you can get, where as possible, all the fabric samples, because this is like your working mood board. And all the sample pieces you can put in a bag and carry them around with you and take them to different stores and see if you like them, or put them on a pin board, you know, and you can do it that way. Please order all the samples. Please do that. Match pots for your paint samples. Paint a piece of A4 paper and then stick that A4 paper on whichever wall you're going to have that colour on. Or you got whichever wallpaper, get a piece of it, stick it on the wall. Rather than don't paint lots of different squares on your wall, because you may be still living in that property or that room for months and months, and you don't want lots of different odd coloured squares on your wall. Don't do that. Paint them on a piece of paper and stick the piece of paper onto your wall, so you can just take them off and put them on, and your room won't look an absolute, you know, mess for months on end, and that will be quite discouraging. So don't do that. So I'd say get all your samples. You must order all your samples. Your samples could take up to 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks to come. Order your samples, very important. Get all your samples together, lay them out, have a look at them, and see how this scheme will work for you, or even dot them around the room as well, so you know what they're looking like in different lights at different times of the day. Another thing, looking at samples as well, I would say lead times. When you're ordering your furniture, be it a sofa or lamps or anything, if it's in a house fabric, generally the lead time will be shorter. So you could get it within a week, 4 weeks. But if it's not, it could be up to 10 weeks, you know. So it's important to know what the lead times are, and then jot down all the information directly onto your sheet. So you've got all the information here. This is a working sheet. Jot down the information of how long something's going to take to arrive in your home, so you can plan the whole thing to work together. So you can plan your painting of your items and laying of new flooring, painting your flooring, laying new flooring before the furniture comes, because you want to do all of that stuff before you put your furniture in. Otherwise, you might get paint splashes on your furniture and it just be chaotic. So get the walls and the ceilings and all those things done first, and then get your furniture delivered and put in place afterwards to finish off your scheme. So that's the order that you do it in. Very important. So please find out what the lead times are, how long things will take to arrive in your home. Um, there will be a difference, as I've been reading about the different items that are on there. From the different chairs, tables, etc. There's a difference between the UK and the US. Reason being, we don't all have the same stores in the UK as you have in the US. So there will be slight differences with the products, but they still relate to the theme and the scheme of your room. So they still will sit beautifully within your room, even though the looks are slightly different. So don't worry about the looks being slightly different. They still work. These are my choices. If you go to the store and you find out, oh, I actually like that one a bit better than this one, go for the one you really like the best. Please do. Please go for that one. And especially if you find one that's a lower price point, but it still looks just similar. Similar is the word. If it's similar, go for it. Save yourself money, because you can always use that elsewhere, or keep it in your pocket, whichever way you want to go for it. So I say, please do that. That's really important. Okay. I've gone through just various different things. The drapes. With the drapes, I've just gone for fabric from Romo. Now, Romo fabric, you can order it whether you're in the UK or the US. They do such a sumptuous range of fabrics. Please, if you can, order these fabrics. I know there's some ready-made curtains you might be able to order, and they can work just as well. But I say order the fabric. It might be a case of getting it made up into curtains. Sometimes where you order the fabric from, they'll make the curtains for you. So that's the service they do offer, or sometimes they know who they can recommend who can make their fabrics into curtains. So there's that option as well, or simply panels, straight lines. That's the sort of sewing I do. Straight lines on a sewing machine, straight lines to do a panel square, and then you can buy these sort of clamps, that you literally clamp the curtain in to hold up the curtain. Or you can simply sew on one of those panels that you use for glider rails for your curtains as well. So there is those options. And then you can buy a tie back if it's too bulky, because it is a velvet curtain, or if you just want to hang it straight, that's fine, whichever, it's up to you. All those items, as I say as well, finishing off with the shutters, Reclamation Yard, if you can get it from there. It's wonderful. If you can get it from there and get it dipped and then varnish it, do it that way. If not, you can get companies like in the UK, there's a company called Hillary's. We have lots of different types of companies like that actually come and measure up, and they can just fit blinds for you. I'd say they're not that cheap, but what I would say, wait till they ask them when they have their sales. They have to tell you. It's part of their policy. So buy it when they've got their half price sales, and that's something you can do right at the very end. Just get your shutters fitted, and I think I finished it off beautifully. If you can't do shutters, don't worry about it. The velvet drapes would be sufficient, so you can just do all velvet drapes. You don't have to have the shutters, just to let you know that there are those options. I would love you to let me know how this worked for you, how this design consultation has helped you to transform your room, and as I believe, the potential to transform your life. It has changed your life and your lifestyle for the better. Please let me know. I really would love to know. I'd love to read those sort of emails. That'd be fantastic. Please go on the website, drop me a little line, and just let me know how it's helped you and how it's transformed your room. And if you can pass it on to your friends and family, let them know as well. Visit the website and see all the other different consultations I'm putting up. I'm going to be putting up consultations pretty much on a weekly basis. There will be new consultations coming in every week new consultations. So have a look and see what appeals to you and what you can put up, what will work for you. I'm aiming to get to 100 plus consultations on the website. so that you will have a great choice to choose from. So I want to do more than 100 plus consultations. The consultations are, this is domestic consultations. I also do commercial consultations, which you'll see from the website. So if you're starting a business, and you want to have a business from home, or simply have a business in a small startup, or if you have an existing business and you want to refurbish that, I have consultations for the commercial side of your life as well, as I say, because that's all part of changing your story and also changing your life. If you can also send me some of your before and after pictures, and I'll post them on my website as well, and that will help to inspire other people about your journey, so that you can show other people how your journey has transformed, and in turn change your story, and also to change your life as well. I do love to hear how people's lives have transformed. That's why I came into this profession. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I hope you enjoyed this interior consultation. I wish you all the best in your new journey. Thank you.